He does make some exceedingly good cakes. The rods are out. Just had my dinner, which was chorizo and pasta. It was amazing. I've seen a few fish moving in and out of the swim, which is good. I'm feeling good about this. So, oh, good cake. So I'm anticipating a bite either coming late at night or the wee hours in the morning, or sort of early tomorrow, sort of 5-6 o'clock. I've seen a few moving through. A couple have just moved over the spot as well. Slightly know what it is. But I'm confident we'll come back. The last fish I did have out of here, I saw 2 fish go onto the spot, tails up. I sat next to my rods, waiting for it to go off. It didn't, the fish moved off. The silk cleared and all that was left was my hook bait. They cleared off all the freebies. So in a strop, walked back to my bivvy. As soon as I got on the bed, they must have circled back round and just come and taken the bait, and it ripped off. And that was a nice common. I think it was low 20, I think. But I do like fishing this swim. So I've just been done on the left hand rod, a couple of bleeps. I went down to investigate. It's like through the bushes there, I can just see right onto the spot, and fish was just slowly moving on. So whether he hit my lines and got spooked, or whether he realised it was a rig or not, I don't know. But that was on the left hand rod. There's plenty of fish coming through, and I've been in this swim before where they've done it, where they've just sort of moved around the bait and seen the bait but moved off. But then, like, literally when you're not looking, they just come back and lower it. So I think it's looking good for a bite, I really do. Oh, morning. Ah, morning. Yeah, nothing much happening at the minute. The swim is dead. In fact, the lake is dead, I think. I've just been messaging and speaking to a few of the other guys, and I think one of the chaps had a tench last night, another one a bream, but apart from that, nothing happening. And then the swim's right and left to me. Those chaps haven't had anything either, so don't know, just debating what to do now at the minute, whether to stay another night or not. There's a lot of lines in the lake, could be that, but it seems totally dead at the minute. So it's now 9:30. I'll give it to 11, and then I'll pull the rigs out and have a rethink, and maybe think about what I'm going to do in terms of staying or not. But yeah, it's dead at the moment, so. It's a stunning day though, as you can see. Standing around there. Lovely out there. Nice weather. No fish. Right guys, the swim is absolutely dead at the minute. About an hour ago I had a huge common come through the swim, but he wasn't on the munch, he was just starting through. But a lovely fish all the same. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to do a product review, and I'm going to review this thing, which is the Fox FX11 reel. Now I've had these reels for just over 2 years I think now, so I think that qualifies me enough to give a good review and an honest review on these reels as well, because I've obviously I've used them everywhere for the past couple of years on lots of different types of venues. So yeah, so what can I say about these? So I'm not going to go through the list of specifications because you can get that off the website, but I'll just point out one or two things. Like there's 95 centimeters retrieval per turn of the reel, and the reel in that sense does feel really nice. It's got super slow oscillation, as you can see here, and it does feel really nice. The mechanism of the reel works really well. I've never had any complaints about casting or anything like that. The line seems to you seem to get really good line lay on the reel, but also it casts really well as well. The makeup of the reel itself, it has a plastic body here, but it's a good quality plastic, and I've never had any issues with it. The reel handle is metal. You've got a rubber end to the reel handle here, and then the spool itself is metal, a good quality metal. But then the front bit here is plastic, the clutch itself. I did have an issue with the clutch as well, where one of the clickers broke in the head here. So there's a couple of screws in the back of it, and you can get to the clicker that way. And it took a good few weeks for Fox to send me out a new one to put in. It took a couple of emails to try, but I eventually got through to them, and they did send one out, so I can't complain about that. So yeah, I'm not going to go through all the specifications because, as I say, you can get that from any retailer or the Fox website. But what can I say? So after 2 years of use, I noticed instantly, I think it was on the first session or the second session that I used them, I noticed what I consider a major flaw with these reels, where if the line becomes loose, i.e. you're letting line settle on the bottom of the lake, so you're loose in that sense, the line can coil off from the spool and trap itself. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but trap itself between the metal spool itself and the plastic ring at the back here. It then becomes wrapped in the mechanism and the clutch, and you have to literally take the spool off, undo this, pull the spool off, get the line out. Okay. Now for me that has been an absolute nightmare. Okay, so it happened on the first session. I pulled the spool off, I lost a cog and a washer. I couldn't find them in the swim anywhere. It was a gravel swim, and I ended up having to fish with one rod on that session because the other spool, as far as I was concerned, was knackered. So I did eventually manage to get that fixed and sorted out. But I consider this a major flaw. So it's happened a lot, but eventually I've kind of got used to it now. You're probably thinking, well, why have you still got them over after 2.5 years? And I do know that some of the guys on the lakes did buy these and got rid of them instantly because of that issue. Now the honest thing is, I have bought other things before replacing these reels, but I should have replaced these reels by now, if I'm being completely honest. I have learned to live with it a bit. I learned to control the line as I'm letting it settle. I keep it from coming off the back here. I always hold it with my fingers, but it is a pain in the arse, if I'm completely honest. And I've never heard it happening on other reels. Maybe it does, but I've never heard it. I did look online at forums and Facebook forums and that kind of stuff, and saw other people with the same kind of problems who have got rid of them. So but yeah, I have learnt to live with this, but it still does happen. It happened to me a couple of sessions ago, you know. But I'm not used to it now. I can do it pretty quickly, get the spool off, get the line off quickly, and then get the spool back on. But to be honest, it's a pain in the arse. It doesn't happen when you have a fish, because obviously the line is under tension. It only happens, like I say, when the line gets slack. It can peel off and get stuck in that mechanism there. So if I could go back in time, would I get these reels again? The answer has got to be no. The quality, the feel of them, casting, playing fish, I've never, no other complaints apart from that one thing where the line spools off. And I don't, you know, maybe it's happened to other people that are watching this as well. But yeah, that's my honest opinion of these reels after using them for 2 years. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't buy them again. I have a lot of Fox stuff. It's generally really good quality stuff, but that for me is a major flaw about these reels. Right guys, just been given the green light to go ahead and stay another night, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to change up the tactics a bit though. So these traps set left and right are going to change. I think the first trap, I think, is just too obvious. The spot is just too obvious. It's a golden glowing piece of gravel, and I've just seen too many fish move in and just move off it. The bait that I put in last night is still there. The bait that I put in on the other spot is still there. I just don't think they're confidently feeding this close in. So what I'm going to do is, the left hand rod, I'm going to take it a little bit further out, where there's a little bit of water cabbage on the bottom, but I'm going to try and get in between those spots, so it's not as obvious. And then the other rod I'm going to send out a little bit further out, show you, just where the lily's clear out there. So yeah, it is a change of tactics. I'm still keeping one close in, still setting it as a trap almost. That'll be completely locked up again, and but I'm going to get one out there where I have seen a little bit of fizzing, so I think the fish are feeding out there. Right guys, here's a plan, or a change of plan. It's had a look on the deeper and the lead around. It's quite choddy out there in terms of Canadian weed, so I opted to go for a chod rig, a tactic that I never normally use. I always have chods in my armoury, but I just never use them. So a new one for me, but I just think that and a scattering of boilies might just buy me a bite. So as I'm sure you can see there, my plan to get out there with a bit of bait and a chod has backfired completely. Swan's just come in and he's just eaten the lot. I've pulled in the hook bait because I do not want to risk hooking one of those things, and I'm just going to have to sit it out and wait till he's done, and then maybe just get some more in as soon as he's gone. He'll probably come straight by though, so it could be a bit of a nightmare this. I might have to rethink. Right. Yeah, so after the swan came in and all that bait, I was trying to put some more bait out, and this happened to a catapult. Snapped! Yeah, so I've just had to nip round and see the guy in the next swim, Stu, who's lent me one. So I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about bait, and I've got some more bait out. So for these spots close in, and for this session, all this session, I've been using sweet amino boilies. So this mix here is a mix of sweet amino, flake, crushed boilies, chops and holes, and as well as that, in there I put some small krill pellet. Added some small krill pellet to it, and of course, as you can see there, added some corn to it as well, and a little bit of hemp. Okay, and that was to go in these spots out there, and supposed to try and create a bed out there. So that was just the idea behind that. So just a Munger mix really of, like I say, chops, holes, flake, maize, and sorry, not maize, corn, and hemp. And for the boilies that I've got, again, ocean amino boilies. Did I say sweet, or it's ocean amino boilies? And these guys are glugged in the ocean amino liquid, and also some. I put some krill powder on this as well, just to add to it, just to give it a bit of a coating, if you will. And that's what's gone out there now. It's about 20 yards out, something like that. Not far at all. 25 yards maybe. Yeah. So the swan came in and cleared me out, but I've just, with the aid of Stu's boilie catapult, I've managed to get a few pouches out there. Right guys, it's nearly 6:15 and just put the rods back out again. I've just been for a curry and just had a curry with my mate Dave across the lake there. Rods have gone back out. I've still gone onto that spot where I've got the chod rig on just for the minute. I might bring it in later on, especially if the swan comes on again. But yeah, rods are back out. Tea is over with. It's time for a beer now and a chillax. Come on, a carp. Right, I've just seen a couple of fish mooching around in the swim, so I'm gonna try and stay away from those rods and the edge of the bank as much as possible. Fingers crossed for this last night. Just need a fish, just one bite. Right guys, we've got a common here. It's just over 28. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Is it Cullums? It might even be Cullums again. It might even be Cullums again. Oh. In fact, I think it is. The more I look at it, I think it is. Oh. Oh. I'm pretty sure this is Cullums at 28. You can tell by the flat top of the tail. Oh man. Oh, he's big. Oh. Let's turn him around and get the other side. Get some more water on him. Mental. Oh. Absolutely gorgeous. Come on, you big one. There we go. There we go. Fin perfect. Beautiful. Well, good morning, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've only just woken up. What an epic night last night. So at about 2:30 in the morning, the left-hand rod totally melted off. I had to jump out the bivvy, get on it. Butt of the rod went flying up in the air, and I got one in the left-hand margin. And it was about a 2 or 3 minute battle. That's not long at all. Real hit and hold stuff. Scoop it up, net it as quickly as possible. Huge common, lovely fish. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous, fin perfect. 28 pound, weighed 28 pound. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to double check this morning, look at the pictures and whatnot, but I think it is Cullum's common again that I had in the channel swim either last year or the year before. Slightly down on the weight that I had her then, but you know, the fish have only just spawned, so no surprise there. But yeah, absolutely, what a great fight, what a superb fish. Absolutely fin perfect, great condition everywhere, all over the body and the lips and everything. So really chuffed with that. After losing that one at 10 o'clock, I was beginning to think it's not going to happen, but yeah, that was great. But I just couldn't get back to sleep after that. I was so excited. So I was up from 2:30 till about 5:30 this morning, watching the dawn break. So I'm pretty tired. I've only had about 2 hours sleep. The reason why I'm up now, the only reason I'm up now is because the sun is beating into the bivvy, and that's what's woken me up. I'm so hot that I've had to jump out the sack. And it is really hot. It's really hot and muggy this morning. So I'm going to get some breakfast on, get a drink, and I'll have a look at those pictures. But I'm pretty sure it's that fish, that Cullum's common. Well, I'll compare the pictures this morning, but yeah, result, well chuffed. Alright guys, had my coffee and my breakfast, feel a lot better for that. So I just thought I'd take you through the rig that I had that common on, and that is a German rig. This is the rig itself, hope you can see that there. So quite simply, a crank hook, size 4, quarter crank hook. That's end trap, which is 15 pound, approximately 6 inches of that. The bank tackle bait screw on the end there, and a bank tackle hook bead on the hook. Down to, I think it's a Fox anti-tangle sleeve and a Fox leadless leader system. And that's quite simply the rig that caught that last night's common. It's one of the easiest rigs to tie. If you just started out in carp fishing, recommend this rig. It's really effective and really easy to tie. It's called the German rig. Lots of tutorials and whatnot on YouTube of how to tie this, but it's just simply a knotless knot. And that's what did the biz last night. I'll just add to that, the bait used of course was Ocean Amino wafter from PCF, and just a handful of boilies over the top of it, that's all. As I said right at the beginning of this blog, it really is all about just intercepting them at that point, that corner point there in the left of the swim, where they swim round to the hook point swim. It's just all about trying to stop them in the tracks there. So getting a bit of bait down and just soaping it spotted on the way through, and get their heads down on it. And that's exactly what happened. So the Ocean Amino does it again. Right guys, swim more or less packed up now. Just got to get the rods out and get them away. So yeah, all in all, very happy with the session. Happy to have caught. Well chuffed to have caught, in fact. Not sure when I'm going to be out next. Probably a couple of weeks time. Might be on here, might go to another day ticket, I'm not sure yet. But until then, thanks for watching, and I wish you luck in your own fishing, tight lines, and See you next time.